This is John Taylor from Trek the Ocean. We have the pleasure of having Pete Bethune with us today. Hi, Pete. How are you?
Fantastic, man.
We're certainly pleased to have you. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you've got a lot going on, and actually that's one of the things I wanted to ask you about. I understand that you've, since leaving Sea Shepherd, have got another organization started and some quite substantial plans. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, look, I spent a lot of time when I was in prison thinking about what I wanted to do in the future, and marine conservation is what I do, and so I just looked at possible places where I could maybe add some value, and originally I thought these might be Sea Shepherd campaigns, and subsequently on finishing up with them, it's given me an opportunity to form this new organisation called Earth Race Conservation, and so our gig is we just work on marine conservation and trying to come up with campaigns where other NGOs aren't involved, and maybe some areas that may be a little bit more dangerous, or areas that other people are shying away from, and maybe we can add some value.
I see. What sort of things are you talking about? I know that we've talked a bit about how there's some plans for the Faroe Islands, and of course I think Sea Shepherd has already kind of been and gone and no longer welcome there. What do you have in mind for the Faroes?
The Faroe campaign is probably the one high-profile one that we have in the pipeline, and we started off with that, and then we found out subsequently that Sea Shepherd may be going there as well. But the plan is to get up to 1,000 people there over the 3 months, and so at any one time we're hopeful of having 200 people there, and with that we can cover pretty much the entire group of islands, and when a grind does happen, we can guarantee to at least get 20 or 30 people down into that area reasonably quickly, and we're going to have plenty of people on the islands to see when they go out to bring in the different whales. So in terms of tactics, I don't really want to go revealing them now, but the key to it is a lot of people there, and be prepared to get out there and stir things up a bit.
Okay, well, that certainly is a large group of people. We've had, within our board, we've had a lot of discussion. The Danish people try to separate themselves from the Faroes, and of course we argue back that they're receiving funds from them, they're enjoying all the benefits of it, and yet denying things like the European prohibition against the killing of pilot whales.
Yeah. Look, they've been a bit disingenuous the way they've approached it there, and the fact is 15% of the Faroe Islands GDP now is coming from Denmark, so they are very beholden to Denmark, and part of our strategy is to say, look, the Faroes is part of you guys, Denmark has got to sort this issue out, and when 15% of your economy depends on Denmark, they hold some sway over the Faroes. So, I believe we can exert some pressure on both the Faroe Islanders and on the Danish, and kind of make the Danes embarrassed for what goes on there. Like, it is a disgrace to have 1,000 whales being killed in these little fjords when they're protected in all the rest of Europe. And the Faroes does benefit from being part, effectively, of the EC. That's the plan. Whether it unfolds like that or not, I don't know, but we're going to go there and give it a crack anyway.
Outstanding. I'd like to talk a little bit about, if you would, the differences in the way that things are accomplished. I know that without getting deep into it, we're going to leave that in the past. There are certain distinctions in manners of leadership. One of the things I've noticed about you, Pete, over the past year or so is that you're a man who kind of leads by example. You don't put people out there to do things you don't do yourself.
Yeah, look, I'm not so good at telling other people what to do so much, and I've found in the past that people do respect you if you're prepared to go out and do something. They're prepared to do the same, and the crew that I've had on my vessels before, as an example, they know if I ask them to go and do something, I've probably done it before, or I'm quite prepared to go and do it. And I've never been afraid to do the dirty jobs, I guess, and your crew kind of respect you for that. But there's many ways to lead teams, and other people have other ways that maybe works for them, but I certainly find for what I do, I'm better off getting stuck in and have people kind of follow me with what we're doing. But it does get harder as your organisation gets larger, I think. It gets harder to do that, and I hate to see the day where I might end up being tucked in an office. I just, that's not me. My gig is to get out there and do stuff.
No, I can't actually. I can't imagine you at 80. You won't be in an office anywhere, but and for myself either. But that involves delegating, and for me, that's always been really hard because there's enough perfectionist in me that I have a little bit of a hard time trusting everybody to do things as well or the same way that I would. And yet, you seem to be very good at that. I've noticed it.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons, John, is I'm actually shit at most things. Like there's many skills that I lack, and I guess I'm a little bit unusual in that I'm very accepting and understanding that I'm useless at this, and this, and so I need to pawn those jobs off. And I know I've got many people in my team who are way better at certain things than I am, and the things I'm good at, I am a good leader of people, and I'm good on ideas, and I probably have a high threshold for risk relative to some people. So I've got a few strengths, but in most other regards, I'm pretty average and ordinary. So delegation comes very easily to me because I kind of know if I want to be part of something special, I've got to flick it out to other people, and so that comes very easily to me. And I've always kind of believed, people support what they help create, and they support, ideas that they contribute in. So it's not just a case of me saying, you go and do A, B, C. Often I'll say, Rob, I need you to go and achieve such and such, but how they get there is kind of up to them. And if people are involved in that process of coming up with the strategy or tactic or whatever, they're much more likely to go working 24 hours a day for you or stepping outside their comfort zone. When you just say, go and do ABC, people don't really embrace that as much, or certainly not in what I've found anyway.
I could certainly say, just listening to you speak about it just now, I see brilliance in that, and quite frankly, you tell me where you want me to go, I'll be there, Pete. And that's quite a... I'm not one that follows many people very very readily, so I think that's quite an accomplishment for you. But I think you're a bit modest as well. Skipping a vessel around the planet at all is quite a feat, and doing it in a race environment, new circumstances, and that. How do you see those traits that you do have coming into play with the things in the future?
I think in many respects it's maybe a little bit larger in scope, but it is the same kind of thing. You're trying to take people out of their comfort zone and get them to be part of something extraordinary. When I look at the teams I've had in the past, there've been people with certain skill sets, and none of them you would say are quite brilliant, but they're all kind of good, talented people in their own rights. And you put enough people like that together, and you get a really good functioning team. You can be part of something extraordinary. And I've seen it a couple of times. I think what we achieved last year in Antarctica, in terms of getting aboard the Shonan Maru and what happened in Japan, like it all kind of fell into place. And some people say, hey, we ended up in prison, but that was the goal all along. And our goal was to shine the spotlight on whaling, and we did that. And similarly in the record attempt, I was part of quite an amazing team, and I'm like an important cog in that team. In many respects, I'm kind of the guy in the middle of it, but it's all these people around you that come in and contribute in equal amounts. And my job is kind of to coordinate those people and make sure that they feel like they're part of this team and part of this tribe. It's a very good word I use a lot, is tribe. In a lot of Western societies, we kind of lose the sense of belonging to things. And organisations like, say, Sea Shepherd or Earth Race or Greenpeace or your football team, they kind of replace the tribe that maybe we had historically. And there's something like Earth Race, it can be a very strong tie, and people will give a lot for that organisation. And we benefit enormously from people who are prepared to come along and give up a chunk of their life for you. And for me, it's tribalism. People want to belong, and they want to be part of something that's bigger than themselves. And my job is maybe a little bit to provide a vision and say, hey, we're going to go and stop whaling in the Faroes, or we're going to stop shark finning in Kenya, or whatever it is.